Hello from Texas, and welcome to our trip into the future of corporate wireless. I'm Beth Miller, the marketing maven of mindWireless, and your moderator for today. Our speakers, mindWireless founder and co-CEO Kevin Whitehurst and client services manager Paul Wise, are going to be exploring emerging and future innovations in corporate wireless, many of which are already impacting your enterprises. But first, a couple of housekeeping notes. During the webinar, you'll all be on mute, but you can send us a question or comment at any time using your control panel chat function. Kevin and Paul will conclude in plenty of time to answer any and all questions. And now I'm going to turn it over to Kevin Whitehurst, who will take us on the first step into the future of corporate wireless.
Great. Thank you, Beth. Appreciate that from our marketing maiden. I wanted to step through real quickly in the agenda just to walk through what we'll cover today and what we'll go over. The future of wireless, talking a little bit about how we see wireless evolving over time in the next 5 years, looking at smartphones, the tablet market, diving into some machine-to-machine topics and what we're seeing. And then how do we start controlling the mayhem? How do we manage towards the future? And that's the real, how does it get down to within the organization, what can we do to really manage the flow of technology as we know it will evolve? And then we'll summarize. And as we go, and I think on the bottom portion of the dialog box, there's a place for questions. Feel free as we go along to submit some questions, and we'll have some time in the end that we can go over those and talk through some of them. In the past, we've been able to get through most of them, so if not, we'll certainly trace back to you and get those questions answered. So with that, I'm going to kick it off over to Paul and let him begin the presentation. Thanks again for coming.
Thanks, Kevin. As we all know, technology is moving very fast. We experience new technologies and applications every day. It really is hard to believe how far we've come with devices that utilize the mobile networks and the internet. As an example of how fast technology moves today, AOL reached 1 billion users in 9 years. Facebook reached 1 million users in 9 months. A recent application that launched called Draw Something, which is a version of the popular game Pictionary, took 9 days to get to 1 million users. And we all experience daily videos or tweets that can go viral in less than 9 hours. Technology is fast, and we have a continuous desire for more of it. We see this behavior in organizations as well. And interestingly, notice the first two deal with a personal computer, whereas the second two are mobility-based. Wireless applications and communications accelerate the reach of technology and information. With all the new variations of mobility devices hitting the market, such as smartphones, tablets, and hybrids, BYOD, will bring your own device, has been a popular buzzword in the industry. Device diversity will continue within the corporate environment as it is in the consumer market. Most users already have a smartphone and a tablet and perhaps a data card within their arsenal of devices. Android will continue to dominate the consumer market, and iPhone will continue to dominate the business and professional market. Currently, application developers favor iOS for development as more users with an Apple device are willing to pay.
Great. And so not only from a device diversity standpoint, we also have a speed standpoint. So we are seeing great strides in the data speeds of mobile internet, particularly with LTE or long-term evolution. Not sure where that name came from, but it's long-term and it's evolving. It's a new technology that's been pushed out among all the major carriers today, and one that we hear marketed quite a bit. LTE can reach speeds of 10 to 20 megabits per second with a burst of up to 100 megabits per second. 100 megabits, I guess, is the max. I've never personally received up to 100 megabits. 40 or 50 might be the tops on a speed test. But on average, we see 10 to 20 pretty regularly. To put that in perspective, when downloading a movie that may be around 700 megabytes up to maybe a gig, this would take around 15 to 20 minutes. So very fast. And then as we compare that over to our office speeds in our home, we see in our office we often get between 3 to 6 megabits per second on average. Remembering a traditional T1 was at 1.5 megabits per second. And at home with high-speed internet with cable or AT&T's UVerse products, The higher speeds get, on average, between 8 and 12. I wanted to kind of go through a few of those to compare against what we see with LTE and really point out that LTE is fast, and it's often faster than we may get with our home or office networks. So looking into the future a little bit, we have LTE Advanced. It's the next phase of LTE that looks to be coming out in 2015, 2016, and the potential here is up to 1 gigabit per second potential. And again, that's 10 times faster than what we're seeing in today's LTE. We're talking about maybe downloading a movie in a minute or less. And the interesting thing is we don't think this faster speed means cheaper, especially when if you've got a 5 gig limit in today's rate plans for data, you can go through this in just a minute or two. So certainly we'll be watching pricing plans as we come out with this higher advanced. And the potential is that we can download huge amounts of data very quickly and really change the idea of mobility and internet. So what does that mean? So the first thing we believe it means is high quality or HD voice. So right now we see HD TV, we have HD radio. I believe it'll be marketed as HD voice. And what essentially happens is our voice traffic will then travel over the data network and really mirroring how we see like Skype or Vonage when we're on a VoIP solution on a high-speed internet, we have crystal clear sound. I know recently when traveling to India on business, I was able to stay communicated with back at the office and utilizing a Skype connection on the high-speed data, and it's crystal clear. It's like you're in the next room. And so imagine what it's like on a cell phone having HD voice. The other thing is we'll see things like video and high-speed internet. The video or YouTube will feel more like live television. So goodbye to slow internet and buffering, and hello to real high-quality voice and faster speeds. So what will the future look like? I believe that we will have our own personalized network. We will wear a device that may look or act similar to a MiFi data card that becomes our personal network. Our personal network will interact with all our devices, including our laptops, tablets, smartphones, our cars, our homes, and even our social network. Each device will be internet capable, but will connect through our personal network. So there's one connection. We'll no longer have multiple plans for multiple devices. In fact, we're even seeing this today with T-Mobile and some of their pricing plans where they are looking to have a data family that may include multiple devices. As we get in our cars, for example, the car will instantly integrate with our personal network. We'll provide GPS, movies or entertainment for the back seat, of course. It can also have other functions that control how we interact with other drivers around us. We see some of that technology coming out with some near wireless solutions with some of the newer, more innovative cars. But I believe our personal network will interact with our car. It'll also interact with our home. Perhaps some of the mechanical functions within our house may be guided through our personal network or ability to access through our personal network. I know recently I've got an application on my iPad that can control, if I had a pool, could control the aspects of the pool. Pretty neat stuff. But I think, again, we will centralize our internet connection with a personalized type network. This will also integrate with our social network. Recently, a new application came out that sort of lended the idea that we could put personal interest into this application and basically broadcast that in a wireless, perhaps Bluetooth type signal within a range around us. When we pass by a stranger that has very similar interests and has their application going as well, there'll be notifications to each of the participants that there is someone very close that has the exact same interest as you, and perhaps you ought to meet that person. So we certainly are thinking through how this personalized network might affect as well the business. As we walk into the workplace, the organization knows we're in attendance, we're attaching to our network within the office, our our workplace, and some of our activity that could all be integrated within this personal network. So that's an area that is a little bit far-fetched, but something that we see as far as the centralization and integration of our personal network. I'm going to pass this back to Paul to go through some other research points.
So here's some more research looking at PCs, smartphones, and tablets. And as you can see, as the market grows, we see iPhones and Androids increasing its market penetration, whereas PCs percent of technology sold in 2016 will go down. While the number of laptops sold may increase, the market for smart devices and tablets will increase even more. In fact, just yesterday, Forrester projected that iPads and other tablets will be most users' preferred device by 2016, with sales expected to reach 375 million. As far as activity, ABI expects 13.7 billion app downloads by 2016. We're also seeing a new trend with MTM, that is machine to machine. MTM is the application of a hardware device that measures something, sending relevant information back to a central database. Some examples of MTM applications include onboard vehicle systems, home healthcare, driver solutions, and digital meters and sensors. We are currently working with clients literally managing millions of devices, measuring electrical meters and snack beverage inventory. There's so much opportunity within this space within organizations to be efficient and to understand and know what is going on within their products and operations in the market. MTM is also a huge growth area for the carriers based on the lines being added and large opportunity for organizations to take advantage of the real-time information available.
And Paul, I wanted to jump in and offer a quick client example. We have one client that is managing beverage and snack machines across the United States, and there's literally millions of machines that they are in control of. And just the amazing aspect, and granted M2M is something that has been talked about for quite a while, but truly seeing it implemented, we've seen a recent uptick in companies that are really taking on. But the ability to manage inventory levels within these machines saves hundreds of thousands of dollars in truck rolls as they go to produce inventory or refill these machines. It has been just an amazing operational shift within the organization. And being able to have that within the system and the organization and measure it from a mobile standpoint and the data and the costs associated has been tremendous for this organization. So I'll leave you back to Paul. Sorry about that for the jumping in.
Thank you, Kevin. The first step in right in this massive technology growth and change is to take a step back and create a corporate strategy towards mobility. Each organization will have a theme that will navigate how the mobility is managed. Different roles in the organization may have different technology products available. Employing the TIM provider is something to consider as well to enhance your current processes. Second, a policy must be created and communicated to your end users. The policy will use the created strategy as a guide. Often policies are overlooked, but we highly recommend it as a tool to communicate and, more importantly, educate end users. Finally, communication, including education, is critical in this phase. The organization needs to be on the same page. The key here is to create a valuable tool that draws employees' eyes, making communication and education more effective.
Great. And next, a process has to be deployed to document all devices into an inventory management system, including corporate liable devices as well as personal devices that employees would like to attach to the network. Once an accurate inventory is achieved, billing data from the various carriers must be matched with that inventory. We call this our enrollment program. And once we have that accurate inventory, then cost savings, audits, reporting, allocations can be implemented more accurately and more efficiently, and ultimately creating a positive ROI for a project of this nature. The next slide, we're going to show a little bit of the front page of our employee portal. And this is a critical piece that creates a valuable tool and source for self-service wireless management, communication, and as well as device configuration. The enrollment function in the upper left quadrant represents our inventory management system I just spoke about. And in the lower left corner, we have Manage, which allows end users to self-manage their device. We're definitely seeing younger employees really looking to self-manage their wireless device. They're used to them. They know how to make changes. and they want to go online and make changes if they're going to travel international or they need to add features. So certainly the manage function is a nice feature to offload many of those activities that occur through a wireless management team and to the carrier to go through online. In the upper right is shopping. This enables the end user to get a new device or to replace an out-of-date or lost, stolen, or broken device. In the lower right corner, we have reporting. This allows the end user to view their billing, to view devices that are enrolled to their profile, as well as to look up information for those that report up through them. A portal like this is a valuable tool to facilitate the management of wireless devices that ultimately helps tame the flood of new technology. With a solid strategy and policy and an effective tool to draw the end user's attention, an organization can get on the same page with their end users and technology. Just to summarize, we encourage our clients to stay open to innovation and embrace the change that will happen. We have a constant process we see over and over again. First, a new technology catches on in the consumer market, and we see employees looking to implement this new technology within the organization, and it gets turned down. Then we have a few top executives that also get interested in the technology, and then the organization opens up to it, starts providing it, and then it becomes mainstream within the organization. We saw this with BlackBerries and the adoption rates that vary between clients. We saw it with iPhones and Android devices as they got adopted into the workplace, and now we're seeing it with tablets. It's the same process over and over again. And what we recommend is definitely look to your strategy and embrace it and enable it. If the strategy includes adding new technologies for certain groups, or it includes embracing technology as a part of the culture of the company, let's embrace it and adopt it and not go through the process that we see with BlackBerries and iPhones that we've seen consistently. If it doesn't fit within the strategy, reject it and move on. You have to engage your end users. If you create a platform that draws their attention, you then have a captive audience that you can communicate with and you can educate. We often hear about real-time TIM, the ability to identify an end user perhaps traveling abroad. But when we were faced with a situation where an employee is in China trying to use an iPhone, we get an alert of that. Then we have to go through the process of making sure they're on the right rate plan within a foreign country that can save on the rate plan. You still pay quite a bit per minute, but perhaps there can be a little bit of a discount. And we lose the opportunity to truly educate and prepare and give them tools before they travel to truly save costs and be more efficient, whether it's Wi-Fi and a Skype solution or in-country prepaids or a rental device they can take to the country they're visiting. All these things can happen if you've got the attention of your end users and you can communicate and educate to them and get on the same page of wireless. Organization and management is also a critical foundation for any wireless program, and in deploying tools that help get you there is important. So this concludes our presentation today, and we have a little bit of time, I think about 10 minutes, to go through some questions, and I'm going to take a brief moment to pause and look through some of the questions that have come in while we deliver the presentation. Again, we appreciate your time. We know time is valuable, and thank you for joining us today. I'll be right back.